Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 370th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, March 4th, 2021. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond. I'll be a host today. And of course, we are joined with Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation. And I think he's ready to go to deliver today's 370th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Are you ready to go?
Yes, good morning, good day to you. As usual, wherever and whenever you listen to the series of Knowledge Seekers of the Keshe Foundation worldwide. And we welcome you to one of the most glorious days, not only for the Keshe Foundation, but in the announcements which will be made, will bring a lot of joy to many of us. Keshe Foundation is a peaceful organization and has always worked towards spreading the knowledge and technology freely for everyone. As many of you are aware, Keshe Foundation TV has become a position for us to attain, that we could teach freely without limitation and without any borders. To this effect, we announced today that the Keshe Foundation television will be opened on the 20th of March officially, and the broadcast of the programs will start from 9 o'clock, 21st of March worldwide. The Keshe Foundation TV is set up, and the way it works will be run by the knowledge seekers around the world. There is no limitation on teaching, there is no limitation on broadcasting in every language that we have. This means that does not matter if you're a Chinese, American, British, from South Africa, from Nigeria, from Brazil, from Iran, you all have technology, and the new science of space and the use of the science of space for peace can be shared by everyone who speaks your language. As many of you are aware, Keshe Foundation TV, a structure has been set, and members of many languages which there are within the Keshe Foundation have chosen the 3 members on the board of the management of this organization. They have met since Monday and are structuring gradually in what will be broadcast and what will be done, and how the whole of the Keshe Foundation TV will be run by every one of us. Keshe Foundation TV belongs to the humanity and all of us, and we go forward with this to be able to share. Today we share with you the intro of the Keshe Foundation, and you can go directly into the what we call Keshe Foundation TV. At the same time, all of you, if you want to show your technology development, if you want to show your testimonials, if you want to show what you have done by use of the Keshe Foundation technology over past years, you can video it, you can make a film of it, and it will be shown. Each country has been given the right of 2 hours and more per week to show their technological development and the news. But there's a new twist to the broadcasting of the Keshe Foundation through the Keshe Foundation television program. This means, for example, the Chinese might choose 8 o'clock at night every Wednesday for 2 hours, and you can watch and see the program, which is divided into news, to education, and to documentaries or whatever they decide to do. Every Wednesday at that time, a new teaching will be released. A new program for 2 hours from the Chinese will be released. But you can't miss it, because from that day on, you can come on the channel and watch it if you could not have access to it. The beauty of this is we have brought a scheduled programming of the television and the system of the new network that you can anytime watch it together, which is a breakthrough. In a way, we have combined what we call the old and new together, and this allows knowledge seekers not just to be there on such a time to listen to their own language visually. They can pick and choose and listen to it anytime. At the same time, it allows you to go to other languages. You can go to any language you like, which the Keshe Foundation will put out, and you can listen to it. What is the latest news? Thursday morning teachings, and Tuesday afternoon, what we call One Planet One Nation, will be live and will carry the process of live presentation, and will be staying the same for the rest of the time to come. We are allowed to have commercials. If you have a company and you're one of the Knowledge Seekers Keshe Foundation supporters, just ask for it. The usual pattern of the commercialization. You can promote your companies as long as it's a non-military and it's for peaceful application and is a correct way, registered and everything is incorrect, you'll be supported to promote. If you're knowledge seekers and you develop technologies or small things you make for yourself, you can ask for the TV to broadcast your advertising. All of you who have a little website and you sell maybe one item here, 2 items there, from now on, you can share your website with the Keshe Foundation directly onto the Keshe Foundation website. And this allows you to expand. If few people were used to buy from you, now the whole structure of the world, millions of people who go through the Keshe Foundation will see it, and it allows knowledge seekers to make a living properly, correctly, in being part of supporting the Keshe Foundation. We'll show you the intro. You can go on it directly to the television channel, and we announce how you can get to it is on the screen, and then we play a single image with everything which you will see and the link to the what we call TV channel. Can we show the intro, please? It's the first time it's shown outside the management and the television channel, and you're welcome to Keshe Foundation TV.
Keshe Foundation TV brings innovative space-based science and technology in an ever-expanding way across this planet.
The technology has been given free to humanity. It's been distributed free, taught free, and used by the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers around the world freely to support.
Covering news, education, scientific breakthroughs in space travel, agriculture, health, environment, energy and more in the new world of plasma science and GANS technology.
Plasma water is the water which we collect from above what is known nano GANS materials. It's the water which passes through nanomaterials which are made to carry the energy of the plasma to itself. In a way, we transfer energy of the nano-atomic or molecular magnetic fields into the water.
Collective collaboration of knowledge seekers of the Keshe Foundation around the globe creates a new dawn for humanity through the understanding of the universal interaction of magnetical and gravitational fields, which are the building blocks of the universe. The creation and manipulation of these fields without the use of fuel will bring a giant leap in space exploration. We invite citizens of the Earth to join us and be part of this change. Keshe Foundation, where science meets the soul of the man for peace.
Would you like to play the image of the Keshe Foundation platform too, please? If you notice from today, you can go on keshe.foundation/TV and you can access to it. The site you enter would like you to register because it's a secure system, and you can watch it on your iPhone. You can watch it on your screen television at home. You can watch it through a PlayStation, and everything else is at the reach of the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers worldwide at no cost. With this channel comes, when you go in, what we call the education side of the Keshe Foundation. It's called School, where you can go in and learn everything about the Keshe Foundation, where your mother language is recorded, and we have to build this up. We need a lot of support. Many of you understand the technology in a different way, recorded, high quality, full HD, and then we can play it. It'll go into the archive of teaching. We all become teachers. We all become to show the beauty of the technology. It is very important for many of us to understand that the Keshe Foundation TV is run by the Keshe Foundation knowledge seeker supporters and by the language you're in. If you are a member of the language that you don't have many people, but you're aware of, you can come in and work with us to build the knowledge, to build the technology. The Keshe Foundation TV headquarters is based in Austria, in the city of Linz. We will have what we call the studio, the presentation, the commercial recordings, and everything else which is now known and is with what we call the standard television and studio recording. At the same time, you can share all this with the rest of the world. The Keshe Foundation television program is for us to show the beauty of the knowledge visually that up to now we could not do. And on this website, on this channel, we will be able to share knowledge without limitation. We could not speak about what our technology does with viruses. We could not tell what we could do with cancer. We could not show what we could do with other things because there was a gagging order on what we could put out. As long as the program is not connected with sexual behavior, everything else we can show, speak openly, and teach the world how we use the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers in making a 1 cup of life, how we make the cup of life and the stacker unit, how we create the new flight system, and how everything else can be taught. The Keshe Foundation TV will become the center of excellence for space technology and age of science. Do not isolate us from the others as them and us. Bring them in. Bring the scientists, interview them, and let them share their knowledge and understand our knowledge. Bring the government officials in and let them be with us. And let them work with us, that they bring the knowledge across. Keshe Foundation, in conjunction with all the knowledge seekers around the world, is setting up a structure that the revenues from the Keshe Foundation TV will be fed back into the communities for education, for research centers, for building the centers of teaching and the studios that you can present the technology in different ways. In a way, Keshe Foundation, the structure of TV is run by the knowledge seekers, for the knowledge seekers, for humanity. This is the way we always work, and this is the way it will be kept. Welcome to your television. Welcome to your team who are running this. We are, as what we call the old hands in Keshe Foundation, supporting that. At the moment, there is some 15 languages team plus in this group. It will be increasing to about 40 in the coming weeks. They run, they decide what news you watch. Your people in your languages who run the backing of the teaching, what to be taught, they will decide what it'll be. You can interview your president as what we call Keshe Foundation TV pressman, and everything else. You decide on what the world will see through the Keshe Foundation. We try to put up to 15 hours of a continuous live teaching or live presentations on a basis that the other channels can pick up and work, showing the latest development. we will show everything. That's from A to Z. We will show in the opening and the opening weeks as the enhancement units will be used by doctors in their surgeries, by people who understand the technology. As for example, we put people with the plasma energy in their body, which they say is dangerous. They go into the system, 5 or 10 minutes. While you watch live, they come out and there is no sign of the what we call the dangerous energies inside the body of the man. We bring this live that people can see, and together we show the technology live. Be it in the farming, you program, you watch how you use the Keshe Foundation technology in the farm and how the wheat, the flowers, or whatever has grown and the difference. People can visually see. It's not a talk anymore. And in a way, it's responsibility of us to show to the world leaders that there is an alternative to bring peace and to bring everything possible to be able to develop this technology for the use by all of us. I congratulate you all as knowledge seekers with your television channel, and the Keshe Foundation TV as a company is getting set up that it will be an independent organization, but still with a framework and ownership of the Keshe Foundation as a whole. In so many ways, we have achieved one of the milestones in the Keshe Foundation history, and with it, for the first time, we can be seen in what we talk. You can make your testimonials and show what is done for you. You can bring everything to the screen, and we do not hide and dock in what is good or what is bad. We show everything, and you have to be that way when you record it. Just don't show all the beauties. Show what you've done, something went wrong, and for other people not to do. Never be afraid of failure, because the failure in accepting it is a success itself. In any way, thank you very much. You're welcome to Keshe TV. Watch the intro, go to keshe.foundation/TV. And as we build this site till the 20th, and then from 20th on, as we build it step by step, all of us, we will see the spread of the knowledge worldwide. We have another good news for you, and that is you can find Keshe Foundation from next week on Amazon.com. You can go put Keshe Foundation and see most of the products which you see on the Keshe Foundation website, plus other things which will be available, which is not available to in the other parts of the Keshe Foundation. You will see us on the commercial website. If you run or you have something like Amazon, but especially in Portuguese or in Spanish, your people in the Keshe Foundation TV and the Keshe Foundation as a whole will open shop on these websites, which means in the Spanish Amazon-like, where many people go, you will be able to open a shop in conjunction with the Keshe Foundation, and the profit of this will be shared with your community to develop your processes. Not only we share the income and the profit from the TV, now, like we have spoken with the Bulgarian team and the others, we set up a company in your country and then a section for commercialization, and in that part, all the incomes, which is the profit for the nation or language, will be spent on yours. So now you have the facility, even in the shop, to have a Spanish shop, to have a Chinese shop, and all the prices which is there, all the profit which is a section of your language will be given to the people who run the Keshe Foundation TV to be spent, or the Keshe Foundation team in your country, for the benefit of the nationals. As I explained, you will come to understand in a very short time, as we trade under our own central basis, Keshe Coin will be accepted as a method of payment inside the Keshe Foundation organization, as has been by European Bank, and is ratified that we can trade inside the Keshe Foundation with our own coin. And gradually we change the currency into effort and to be correct. And this is the way Keshe Foundation will be run. For example, as we're speaking, as we told you last week, that we have bought about 40 tons of cotton from a Chinese farmer for whatever he harvests. Keshe Foundation paying for the seed, Keshe Foundation providing all the material, the technology and know-how, Keshe Foundation supporting with everything else, that the farmer does not use any pesticide or any herbicide or anything else except our technology. And we have guaranteed the price for the 40 ton in advance, full payment to the farmer. But there is a big problem. When we buy the goods from the farmer, it could be 30 ton. Keshe Foundation takes the responsibility because we bought 40 ton. We agreed with the farmer. He knows he has a guaranteed income for him and his family. And then, let's say if you get out of the 40 ton, we make a profit of 100,000 at the end of making into a t-shirt and selling all the goods. That 100,000 again will be a part of it, will be given back to the farmer. He is the cause of the development, he is the cause of the profit. We have paid in agreement 10% over what he earned last year. If last year he had 10,000, Keshe Foundation has guaranteed him 11,000 from the same land. Doesn't matter what the harvest is. But now the farmer has an additional income, could be another 10,000 to the farmer from the what we call the profit of the Keshe Foundation sales in its vertical structure. So the farmer now becomes enough to live a comfortable life. In the process of dyeing or weaving, we have paid the factories. They have always calculated the profit, but the farmer who was the originator will not receive what he deserves. So this is the way when you work with your farmers, when you work with the scientists in initial stages, they have to be protected and covered. We will stay correct in all ways of our lives, and does not matter if you are my son, my neighbor, if you're a farmer, I don't know, in Brazil, we all benefit the same way through the same process. Keshe Foundation works with a full ethics and operational. Its work is well known. We don't make any difference in supporting our people. Does not matter if they are friends, family, or strangers in a distance who benefit by our technology. As we said, the Keshe Foundation enhancement units, the vertical, the horizontal, if most of the countries who are coming in as NGOs, if they buy one unit, Keshe Foundation matches with another. If you are a private organization, you pay for yours. If you are there to provide the services of one of the systems freely to those who do not have, Keshe Foundation will supply that additional system. We are not here to make profit. We are here to share the benefit of the technology with all of us. And this is important for you to see. We have to carry on with the same ethos and the same work. We do not let our people alone. We do not let people to be without anything. There are a lot of work to be done. There is a lot of success to achieve. And in conjunction with what we have, we will achieve the totality of the work. I would like to thank the new team of the Keshe Foundation TV who are running the organization, those who are supporting it behind, and those who are guiding it to see it through its birth. We thank you from the deepest part of our heart that we wish you every success in this endeavor. It's the first time the television channel is run by all the humanity, not by those who can control the knowledge, not by those who can control what can be seen and cannot be seen. This is the benefit of 20 years of solid work. This is the benefit of my personal life over 50 years to bring it to this point. And I thank you for it. And you will hear more from your languages in the teachings, in your private workshops, and we build on it. Every language has to be respected, every nation has to be respected, and every person in the whole structure of the Keshe Foundation, they be member of Keshe Foundation or not, has to be respected. Try to share the knowledge now visually that people can see. I thank you all for this. It is a glorious day, and we have reached the point that Iranian national television has given the Keshe Foundation Iran the central television structure, studios to record the opening of the Keshe Foundation on the 20th. That we will be supported directly by the Iran central structure. If you can ask your national televisions to do the same as what the Iranian government and officials have done with the Keshe Foundation, we welcome you, we support you. This is a gift from the newer structure of the Iranian, what we call leadership. And in so many ways, when you see the first programs coming out of Iran, is recorded in Iran central televisions in the support of the Keshe Foundation and their work for Iran, as they announced a couple of weeks ago that the Keshe Foundation technology has been used in what we call many aspects of the defense and the space technology. We come to another announcement, and this announcement is for all of us. This announcement is and will go through the Iranian leadership, the Sepah of Iran, and the nation of Iran. In the past 40 years, Iran has been under huge pressure in every direction. Sanctions beyond imagination has been put on Iran for the nuclear technology which Iran possesses and is so advanced that the other nations have been trying to get to, and at the same time trying to stop Iran developing its nuclear technology to be far ahead, that it could be a danger to the others. With the support of Sepah of Iran and Iranian leadership, the Keshe Foundation makes this announcement and will be supported by Iran leadership in the coming days. The announcement on behalf of the Keshe Foundation, the Iranian nation, and the Iranian leadership and Sepah of Iran is as follows. The Iranian nuclear industry, the whole knowledge, the whole entire research centers and development centers, and the knowledge Iran has gained in nuclear technology as of today, the 4th of March 2021, will become international knowledge. Iranian scientists from today will teach every nation how to develop nuclear technology freely and without charge from the Iranian research centers. We open the scientific achievements in Natanz and in other positions in Iran. It means the smallest island on this planet, and the American nuclear physicists who've been trying to understand the work of scientists of Iran now can travel to Tehran and learn firsthand. The reason for it is very simple. As I explained to the Iranian leadership, to the American officials, and to the others, Iran is in possession of such advanced technology that has captured many of the most advanced technologies of the West, that does not need the nuclear technology to be sanctioned for. It is our privilege to teach the rest of the world the Iran space technology at the same time as the nuclear. This move means all the European nations will have access to the edge of science of nuclear weapon and nuclear technology if Iran had a weapon. So there is nothing hidden. We open all our research centers to the Chinese, to the Russians, to the South Africans, to the Brazilians, and the small state of whatever you want to call around the world. The smallest island nation will have access to Iran nuclear technology on the edge of science. You have scientists who want to learn it. we make the knowledge of nuclear weapon in a way accessible by all of us, as Iran will teach every scientist how to develop, how to make the systems, and this way we make sure that nuclear technology will not be used by no nation. I thank the Office of His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran. I thank the Sepah leadership and the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers that they have stood resolute to bring peace as part of our work. The announcement we are making, and we have made, stands and supported by the Iranian nation and by the Iranian leadership, that we come to this point. Nuclear technology has become accessible by all of us through the open teachings of the Keshe Foundation in plasma technology, and the Iranian nuclear scientists through the Keshe Foundation TV will teach most of the achievements of Iran. Will teach the space technology of the plasma the same way through the Keshe Foundation television. Will bring the American, the Chinese, and the rest of the world nuclear scientists to debate how we're going to use the nuclear science in a better way in space. In a way, you sanctioned us for our knowledge. Now our knowledge becomes everyone's, and let's see how you sanction the world. My decision as a head of the Keshe Foundation and my advice to my leadership in Iran and Sepah has been simple. Knowledge in exchange for peace. And Iranian nuclear centers are knowledge centers to the advanced technology of plasma, and they are open to all of us to create a peaceful condition for the rest of us. We do not see any reason for the sanctions or negotiation as has been instructed by Iranian leadership, Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran. We do not negotiate with Americans and 5+1. Now they need to negotiate with us in what we teach and what we do not teach to the others, that they might protect their interests. In a coming time, immediately after the leaving of the office of Ayatollah Rouhani of Iran in May, Iranian nuclear scientists under the new leadership in government will start the process. We do not move at the present with Ayatollah Rouhani, as the Keshe Foundation sits in the structure of the leadership of Iran. We don't create a drift between the leadership and the government, but on the departure of the present government, the Iranian borders for nuclear technology is open. From rocket technology to space technology will be open to all the nations. We are even prepared to teach it to the Arab nations on the Persian Gulf, as much as we'll teach it to the Israeli scientists, the Russians, and the Americans. In a way, by everyone having the knowledge, we all become peaceful. And by understanding the new ways that the plasma technology can bring so much benefit, we diversify what we call the weapon technologies of today into the systems to make tools of peace. It is very simple. Keshe Foundation has taken the lead in peace process, and as I told you, for a few weeks, we'll bring you a new message. And the new message is simple. Iranian knowledge in nuclear is free for everyone to learn. We do not need IAEA to watch what we have. From now on, we need IAEA to decide how much is going to be taught to the rest of the nations on this planet in the use and science of nuclear, as every nation has become a space program nation through the Keshe Foundation technology, that how they will use it in their space flight. What does the nuclear knowledge will bring us in space? As I said, we take big steps, and with it, we carry a lot of responsibility. I was told the last 2 weeks is all promoting. Yes, till 21st of March, we continuously promote the Keshe Foundation in what has been achieved and what is there to be achieved. As I was in the interview with the Italian 1-11-11, last night, we showed how the Keshe Foundation has been working in the background with different nations to create a peaceful situation. As many of you have seen, the Keshe Foundation has been working directly with many nations. And in so many ways, now we show you how the Keshe Foundation has brought peace through its operation with other nations. In a way, we work with the Americans with the invitation of NASA. We work with the Iranians, as we show, with the work of the Keshe Foundation. We work with the Italians for the same purpose. And if an Iranian nuclear physicist knowledge can be shared by other nations for themselves, now it can be shared by us. As I said, if you look, Keshe Foundation, nuclear plasma technology is shared with Iran and is announced by Iran, as much as the American NASA headquarters requested to be shared with them. Now we don't work behind the scenes anymore. Now we don't encourage the Israelis to become peaceful nation by receiving technology. We have shown the documents of what we call operation of the Keshe Foundation with the Italian government. We have shown the work of Iran with Keshe Foundation in respect to overcoming what we call the Corona. Now we have been working in the background in different levels with all the nations. Now we take the lead to lead the nations to peace. I would like to thank His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran. I would like to thank the heads of Sepah of Iran in supporting that from more or less end of May, beginning of June, the world governments can send their scientists to see the nuclear process of Iran, which has been developed by the Iranian scientists over years. As I said, we do not need nuclear weapon technology. Now we need the peaceful application of plasma technology. We will force our peace program throughout other nations, and we will try to achieve what we call total unison of the peace process with the Keshe Foundation. We stay correct in all our conducts, does not matter where and how, and in that way we push with the peace process. You can contact your governments and tell them that the Keshe Foundation and the Iranian nation and the Iranian government officials and the Iranian leadership and Sepah are sharing the nuclear technology. Can we have some of our scientists to go there and learn? The way you sign for Keshe Foundation Knowledge Seekers, through the Keshe Foundation Knowledge Seekers program, will enroll you, and through the Iranian structured government, they will enroll the world scientists to be taught the art of the nuclear, that it does not become something to be afraid of, it becomes something to be proud of. As I said, your support for the Keshe Foundation over past years has brought us to this position. And at the same time, the Keshe Foundation has set its scene for the operation worldwide. You got to be aware of one thing. To take these steps is not easy. To be in front line, to take such a huge moves is not easy. But we have gathered enough support around the world to be able to absorb this and to be able to lead the world towards peace. You got to understand, by requesting and receiving the support of Iranian leadership and the Sepah of Iran, by opening the nuclear technology of Iran, which everybody was made to be afraid of, now we open the channels of peace, talks and movement. We said, and we followed the instruction of Iranian leadership. His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran gave a direct instruction to all of us, nuclear physicists and government officials. do not negotiate with the Americans and 5+1. Unless the sanctions are brought down, then we talk. And we made the first move. The Iranian nation is opening its nuclear centers from Natanz to the rest for the world scientists to come and learn, very much like CERN. They become research centers and development. And in that process, we don't need to negotiate, as there is no reason for negotiation, as the sanctions on 5+1 and limitation was Iran not to produce. Now they want to know, and they cannot force us not to teach. But at the same time, not only we will teach the other nations nuclear technology of Iran, we will show you how Iran has made its UFOs, how Iran has developed its space technology. That is the property of the Keshe Foundation in the hand of the safe nation of Iran. In a way, the peace dividend is very simple. All our scientists around the world now can become nuclear scientists to understand how to use the nuclear technology in deep space. Nuclear technology is not a weapon to be afraid of. It's something for all of us to enjoy, to safeguard our travels in deep space. Nuclear technology now is a household knowledge and not something to be afraid of. In a way, my biggest joy is that collectively all of us will watch as the American dismantle the nuclear warhead as much as the Chinese and the rest. Because a simple island in the Caribbean and the state of Israel and the Saudis will have the same knowledge to develop, if they want, the nuclear weapons for themselves to test, to teach their children how it could have been if the Keshe Foundation would have not taken the step to bring world peace through the expansion of new knowledge. I thank, as I said, the Iranian leadership and the Sepah of Iran for supporting the Keshe Foundation to become, in past few weeks, as one of the leading organizations, not only in peace, but in technology and science. We will cover all this as we are the creator of the news, as it's developed, as we receive the confirmation through Iranian leadership and Sepah, after the leaving of the office of Ayatollah Rouhani as the president of Iran, and the new presence of the Iranian government will take shape, and we'll follow this through all the channels of the Keshe Foundation. In a way, I congratulate you knowledge seekers that in past years, you have kept the Keshe Foundation in forefront, that world leaders and the governments respectfully respect you for what you've done. The Keshe Foundation knowledge belongs to all of us and cannot be taken by ransom by no individual and no nation. We are free and we operate on the ethos of the Keshe Foundation, world peace in exchange for technology. Thank you very much. As I said, you will see how, as the head of the Keshe Foundation, I deal with the world governments, and it gives you strength to approach your governments, because now you become the messengers of peace, the messenger of new technology, and you'll be respected for what you have to offer. In so many ways, as I said, March 21 will see me to standing down as a head of the Keshe Foundation, but taking leadership in the World Peace Program and the spread of the knowledge worldwide through governments and through national organization. I stay as the head of the Keshe Foundation. I still be involved in every part of the Keshe Foundation organization, but now the hand of the running of the day-to-day affair of the Keshe Foundation is given to new management, but the structure and the leadership still stays the same. As we leave the office of running Keshe Foundation, to lead the office of the peace negotiations and the new technology and the spread of the new knowledge to take us into space. I thank you, all of you, especially the top management of the Keshe Foundation, the IT, Rick, Ella, Wang Lin, the whole of work we had done over years with Arman and the rest, the work which we took step by step from Renan in Philippines to Jim in Australia, from the people, from Rafael from Brazil, to those knowledge seekers in Russia and the scientific back support of the Keshe Foundation in Russia. In so many ways, to the whole of the small people in little villages who used it in Amazon or in the villages of Africa. We are on the same move, we are on the same track, and this way we achieve world peace through technology. And the very first peace dividend of our work is the teaching of the nuclear technology on the edge of the science and application in plasma technology by the Iranian nation to the rest of the world. I promise you one thing, doesn't matter how, we bring the peace back to humanity. And now this is the first step, that the most advanced weapon technology has become accessible to all, and the cause for peace. It'll be a very hard decision for Iranian leadership and Sabah to go through this, as they've lost many of their scientists and leaders by assassination. But the blood of what we call the martyrs of Iran scientists has paid a dividend for creating peace, bringing the nuclear technology to the level that most of the nations around the world now can sweetly share and enjoy. In so many ways, we have achieved a big milestone, and I would like to thank especially the Keshe Foundation team in Iran, Yusuf, Ali, Dr. Barapur, and the leadership of the Sepah, who's working with us relentlessly in the background to reach to this point. I thank the Office of Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran, in a way, in the background, supporting us to reach to this point. It needs a lot of courage to make such a move, but Iranians have always been the peacemakers, and we make that move. In so many ways, let's see what comes forward in the time to come, and how we lead through the Keshe Foundation television and the teachings to what we set out, knowledge and technology in exchange for peace. You will see busy times will come, because now we don't need to negotiate in the back doors and how much and what medicine Iranian child will have. Now we have to consider how many new jobs will be created through plasma technology in the West and in the rest of the world. Corona was a peace dividend in shutting down many things. As I have requested from the Iranian leadership and Sepah, as the reports are that 2 naval ships of United States in the Persian Gulf have been hit by Corona, Iranian scientists and Sepah are prepared to clean this ship for the Americans and its soldiers from Corona. This is a hand of peace offered to the Americans before a single soldier dies on board of these ships, and at the same time allows Iran to openly start the use of the Keshe Foundation technology for Corona around Iran and the rest of it. As I said, it needs a lot of courage to come to peace, and today we made an announcement. We don't need sanctions, but we need the openness of the technology and Keshe Foundation and what we call world nuclear physicists. Now we make the nuclear a common technology as pharmaceutical that nobody's afraid of, but we all work to find the best way to help each other. Thank you very much. And if there are any questions, I answer now. Otherwise, we go into the teaching.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kesh. And I'll, as usual, let the attendees know they have a virtual hand they can put up, and then we can allow you to speak if you have a question. We have some questions in the Q&A.
Yes.
Manuela from Italy asks, what is the link between nuclear technology and plasma technology so that even those who do not have specific skills in theoretical physics can understand the principles?
Mankind over centuries has strived to extend his knowledge in the world of creation. We, as we said many times, try to understand the properties of different materials and what we'll get to mix them. And then we became good at it in making what we call, even with the metals, to alloys, to make it better materials that we can benefit by it. In the last 2 centuries, the scientists start looking at the structure of these elements. In the last century, in looking closer as we develop new scientific tools, we realize everything is made of atoms, which means it has a center and something which rotates around it. Does not matter how many pieces in the center and how many pieces they rotate. In the mid to back end of last century, the scientists went further and looked inside these centers, and we found what we call what is in the nucleus of every element, which means they are the building blocks of everything else. How many of proton and neutron and how many of electrons will give you different materials. You start with the hydrogen, which is just what we call proton and neutron with no electron in double dosage or single dosage. We gave it different names to it. We called it hydrogen, which is more or less 1 proton and 1 neutron. We called it something else, then put double neutron, we called it something else. But as we added more and more of these neutrons and protons and electrons, we came to see the construction of what we call the copper, the zinc, and the gold. But that was the extent of our knowledge. The Keshe Foundation technology now has gone inside the structure of neutron, proton, and electron. So the nuclear technology has been to look at the outside of the physical movement and operation and interaction of these objects. They are literally entities. And with the plasma technology, Keshe Foundation plasma technology, now we've gone inside. And we see nothing but the interaction of the fields. Magnetic fields interaction leads to creation of all entities. It has been very difficult for many scientists to understand this. But in a way, a neutron construction inside of it, a proton construction inside of it, or electron construction inside of it is the same as our solar system. It has a center which is dynamic, releases energy, and in the interaction of the fields of itself by itself, creates planet Earth, creates Moon, Jupiter, asteroid and meteoroids, and the rest of it. Now we can see the structure of what we call a neutron in the planetary system, in the structure of the solar system. There is no difference. It's just more of the same thing. In a way, the connection between the nuclear and the plasma technology is nuclear looks at outside the building, it says, what a beautiful building, it has such a construction and everything else. Plasma technology goes inside. It has a kitchen, it has 3 bedrooms, it has chairs and tables, and it has everything else. In a simple way, Up to now, the nuclear technology has been looking from outside and how putting the two houses together make a semi-detached. If you put 2 or 3 of these houses on top of each other, it becomes an apartment block. But each apartment has its own furniture, its own layout. Now we've gone inside. We see what's inside it, how each apartment has been furnished, what's inside it and how it works. And this is the difference between the nuclear and the plasma. In the nuclear technology, we look at how we stack different atomic structure to each other, but in plasma technology, we go inside and see what's in each apartment and who lives in there and how we can use these furnitures to make a better life for us. We don't want a television here. This house needs a brand new kitchen and a carpet and a furniture. And this is how it is. Now we see what is furnished the inside of a neutron, an electron, and a proton. And the difference we see, the proton and neutrons are the big mansions with bedrooms, kitchen, and everything else. Electron is a small apartment, still having the kitchen, the bedroom, and the rest. It's just the size, but in essence, they're all homes, they're a structure of one thing. And this is the best way I always explain the difference between nuclear and a plasma technology. With a nuclear, we had to see how they look and how they interact. With plasma technology, we are inside it. We furnish it the way we like, and how we can use this energy, how many people can enjoy the building, how we can set it to be an advantage to us. So when you ask for a nuclear is a collection of the plasmas. Plasma is the interaction of the fields inside a neutron, and how we can manipulate it to make it a comfortable place, and how we can furnish it to become a place that we can use the best we can from it. I hope I answered you that in a simple way that every common man can understand. You got to realize one thing. Science and physics is sweet, and plasma technology is the sugar on top, because now we understand how everything works when the fields interact, when everything comes together to create that neutron, and how we can use these fields to create a new dimension. In a way, nuclear industry is looking at the solar system from outside. Plasma technology is looking at how the fields inside this shell we call a solar system has a sun, and how the fields of it interact, that it leads to creation of every element and life we know on this planet. I hope I answered you the right way and you understood it in a very simple language. Any other question?
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. We have a couple of hands up here, Gatwa and Alex. Gatwa, would you like to go first?
Sure, Rick. Good morning, Mr. Kesh.
Good morning.
First of all, I want to thank you very, very much for this bold announcement.
We don't make announcement. The decision is in Iran and it'll be carried out by the Iranian officials. You have to remember, when I announced to the Americans in the background that we open our nuclear centers for full transparency, Iran within days opened the doors of the Iran research centers to IAEA in a full transparent system. When I announced that Iran will show the power of the plasma technology on the 3rd of December in Holland, on the 4th of December, Iran captured a drone. You got to understand, we carry a lot of knowledge and know-how, and we know when we talk, we stand the backing of our nation. It's not a bold move. This is a definite move that Iran will take, and we'll see the peace through. What we say, what you've seen in the past is a fingerprint of what will come in the future.
Thank you very much. to both you and the nation of Iran, especially for bringing in peace. You know, this is a new yardstick that comes upon the world to measure development. Prior to today, development has been shown to be those who have better weapons of war, and war is just killing. Now, this new yardstick brings a new ethos of measuring the most advanced as those who are willing and actually sharing their technology freely. This is amazing. I think it's the best news that we've had in millennia, not millennium, millennia. So thank you very much indeed. Now I have two questions. One,
can I come in, please, Dr. Gattu?
Sure.
As I said to my Iranian leadership and the Sepah of Iran, we asked the Americans to open their nuclear centers and teach their own nationals and the additional information and technology which Iran is sharing with them. This is a big challenge. Iran opening its nuclear science and technology to its citizens and residents of the world. We asked the Americans to do the same, and the Russians. Let's see if they are as peaceful nation as the nation of Iran and developing the technologies that brings peace to all of us. This is a huge challenge American administration has to face to show their nuclear center, to dismantle nuclear warheads, to go to the piece of what we call world citizens, that our way become the new way, and sharing the knowledge gives the advantage for the advancement of humanity and not for one nation to, in a way, colonize and to be superior. So, as you said, now I repeat again, we asked the American administration, the Israelis, as much as the Russians and the Chinese, to open their nuclear center and teach it as free as the Iran is going to do. You have to understand, there's a very big point when we make this announcement. I am a nuclear physicist, and my knowledge goes from the dust to make a nuclear reactor center to development and employment of nuclear warheads. Keshe Foundation, on the screens of Keshe TV and others, will teach these in the name of nation of Iran. I know every way to develop much, much more stronger nuclear weapon technology for deep space use when the man needs it in the interaction or exploration of space. So we are not saying that Iran will open its nuclear center and teach. I am part of Iran, and I'll teach the nuclear technology from its peaceful application to the use in depth of the universe directly on the Keshe Foundation television. You have to understand why we made this move. I don't need no nation to stand behind me. I'm trained to develop the weapon technology which man cannot even dream if I want to. A combination of the nuclear and plasma technology will become such a lethal weapon that mankind would not even know. And this is why when I say we enter into the peace negotiation and teach as a Iranian leading nuclear physicist, and as a man who carries the knowledge of the plasma and nuclear in totality, my knowledge is so advanced that I can develop and show all of you how to develop nuclear warheads with the ignition system in much easier way than its present use. But we don't need such a thing as the knowledge, combination knowledge of nuclear and plasma has to become a method that we can travel into the deeper space safer way. When I developed the first flight system in Sharif Tehran University, we use nuclear material. It's called the nuclear plasma reactors. Now we develop the same thing through the GANSes. and we don't need to go for the nuclear. But you will see the beauty of it when I mix the Iranian nuclear plasma technology with the GANS technology. What will give you? It gives you a technology which man can travel in the depths of the universe, but at the same time, the GANS plasma technology creates a condition that man can live within these structures. This is where the beauty comes, and this is what I explained many times. The Iran nuclear reactors, plasma technology, which was developed in Iran in completion partially by 2008, is a travel system. The enhancement unit, the GANS technology, if you look at it as a construction of your body, is the technology of life when we use the nuclear plasma technology in conjunction with each other. Up to now, many of you have not realized this, but now that we have put the opening of the Iranian nuclear technology on the table, this is the truth which we kept away from you for a long time. Because now is the time to bring it together. We use the nuclear plasma reactors for you to see, and we showed to the governments of the world. In reality, what is important to all of us is the beauty of what now the amalgamation of the nuclear technology, which was shown in Linz, will bring to all of us in the health centers like in Arizona and the rest. In a way, if you have not understood it up to now, this is the truth where the Keshe Foundation sits. Many of you saw the space reactors which we openly showed in technology in Linz. Many of you never understood how cleverly we hid the whole knowledge in front of you without you knowing. The Iranian plasma technology was set right in front of you. And you have seen it and you never understood it. Just look at this picture. The front line, the two nuclear-based reactors for space deep travel, and in the background, the understanding of the what we call GANS plasma technology. This is the way the solar system works. This is the way the sun creates the condition of the motion of this system, what we call the solar system. And in the background, Earth creates lives in it. This picture, every time I looked for past months, I said, I wonder if students understand what it is. This is why we opened the nuclear technology of Iran. The first two reactors you see are the first nuclear-based reactors built completely in Iran. One to be the mother, the sun, and the other one to fly. And in the background, the enhancement unit is where to make the material and sustain life. In the new Keshe Foundation technology which come out of Iran, the two are combined. Motion and deep space travel with a condition of containing and sustaining life. Now you understand how passive you have been in what we put out. Nuclear technology and the plasma technology in the background, together giving man the knowledge and the know-how to travel and sustain life in the space. This, to me, this picture is one of the most beautiful pictures I've ever seen, because it sums up millions of years of man life on this planet, and in a way, from sun to man, where we create the motion of the movement of the sun and creating its fields, and in the background, the interaction of its fields to create life and sustain life. Now you understand why we take such a move. It's not a bold move. There is no alternative but peace. As we take into space and we can sustain life, let the humanity as much as like to do what it likes on the planet Earth, but we take ourselves in the depth of the universe to learn more. And now the knowledge collectively is in our hand. As I'm the developer of this nuclear system in the front for Iran, and the developer of the system for life in the background, is my right to share what I like. How I use the interaction of the fields in the first two reactors in the front to defend the life in the system in the background is the same as what we do on this earth. Is the knowledge belongs to the Keshe Foundation. And we have become one nation. And we have the technology to enforce peace through knowledge and technology. Now you understand, when I announce Iran is prepared to open its nuclear center doors, I open the work of the nuclear reactors, that every nation systematically becomes a space system. We have never released the knowledge within these nuclear reactors. And in a way, we have never released the knowledge in how we create life and the fields of the strength of life in the back. Now we teach both. In a way, we make one nation out of United States and Iran through science and technology as the citizens of this planet. And the knowledge is with us. We are not talking theoretical, because Iran has confirmed this technology has been used, and many of us have benefited by the gas waters from everything else. And it's all in one house, in the house of peace, in the house of the Keshe Foundation, and its knowledge seekers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
What is mine.
I cannot thank you enough. I cannot thank you enough for bringing peace to the world through science and technology, and not through war, not through force. For all the countries that have lived under fear of war, for all those countries, the so-called third world and developing nations that have suffered millions of casualties, I very much appreciate you bringing peace through technology and ending war as we have known it. Thank you. Now to my questions, if I may. The first, to thank you again for what you said about buying produce from farmers, and the farmers are making more profit. And I think this was in reference to cotton that has been grown with plasma technology. I may be wrong.
No, this is like you have tried it in Kenya. You have increased the harvest. Who got the benefit of it? We produce more materials in China. Who got the benefit of it? Now in Iran, the farmers are using. Who benefits of it? The farmers does. This is not something theoretical. You've been involved as the head of the Keshe Foundation Agriculture for years with this. You've seen the change.
And that's why I want to ask about agriculture in particular, because the problem, the general problem, is manufacturing of agricultural produce, because it's agricultural produce cannot stay for very long. It doesn't have long shelf life. So the farmers do a lot of work. They invest in producing a lot of, let's say, for example, fruits or grains, but then they can't sell because they don't have manufacturing, which would actually make their produce last longer in shelf life. Could Keshe Foundation come in by way of bringing manufacturing of farmers' produce so that they actually benefit more? Like I know in Kenya, for example, I have actually studied, since I came here from the US, I have studied marketing of fruits, specifically pineapples, from the farm to the market. And I know where the problems are, manufacturing. So could the Keshe Foundation come up with a way of bringing farmers closer to the markets and bringing the markets closer to farmers by way of introducing manufacturing in every place that grows produce?
I have worked with many nations. We even work with the FDA Ghana with mango trees and to see how they change. Many of you have worked with many elements of the agriculture. I was brought to understand and see this, and before Corona, we came to understanding with Liberia. 95% of the produce in Liberia at the farm gate never reaches the market because there is no infrastructure. And the farmer has a few village people around or a small city to supply, and every other farmer is supplying. And the products never reaches the cities, never reaches the center of population to be sold, because 95% have no access. I was asked by the president of Liberia and the ambassador of Liberia and the future president of Liberia in a close meeting in Istanbul last year, as Wang Lin was present in the meeting, that how we change this thing. Keshe Foundation has a solution for changing the farming. If you take mango, for example, mango is produced, but from outset has 3 major problems with it not to reach the market, or when it reaches the market, have a short lifetime. For example, mango is the same with everything else, with ananas and everything else, has a worm at the point of the flower, then it has a point of the worm and the infestation in the time of the growth, and then it has a infestation and worm on its outer shell when it's a full fruit. So every time the mango grows, the possibility of it reaching the market, it becomes less and less because it's open to many conditions. And then when it matures, it has a very short lifetime because the process of maturity has started, and then it goes very fast, and the outside can interact with every condition and create rot and the rest of it. So you battled for the whole season to not to have, or you'll get the worm inside, you get the worm in the middle, or you get the worm outside, I call it, and then you have the worm of the weather and everything else to stop. So as usual with Keshe Foundation technology, we have to go into the root of the matter. We have to feed the tree with the strength through the gas technology that becomes strong, that does not create the first condition for the first parasite to get into the flower. So you sort out the problem from outset. Then through the process, by creating that atmospheric condition that the animals don't come or cannot have the condition to live, you stop the next 2 stages. But when you, for example, wash the product before leaving the farm, through the test we done in China, in the laboratories, in the ceramic city we call it, we have seen by changing the condition, we can extend the life of the products by weeks. Jim in Australia showed us this 4 or 5 years ago, by how long he extended the life of the product. In a way to change the farming practices, that the farmer needs time to have at least 85% of his products reaching maturity, and then at least getting 85% of the product into the market to sell, is the use of the technology in a correct way from the outset. When you grow a grain, you use the fertilizer, you have actually weakened the structure of the life in it and everything else. When we grew the wheat in China, we had 20%, which is 20 gram protein, which is the highest ever achieved in an open farm technology. So the plant is strong from the beginning. When you have 11-12% protein or 12 gram protein compared to 20, that 8% is the cavity which sits in the seed of the plant, and other things can come in. and set the infestation up. When you have a strong man, nobody attacks it. When you have a weaker man, anybody can lynch on him and do what they like. So you have to understand that we have to change the method of farming from the outset to the end, to the product. When we generate, when we produce a strong base seed on its own, a strong tree on its own, which doesn't create a condition for other animals to come in, and understand at the last stage how to use combination of gases to create an environment around the fruit that nothing can come into it to rot it. What do? We buy the fruit, we go home, you leave one pack of the fruit by mistake on the table, and you put the other pack in the fridge. The pack outside, within a couple of days, it starts rotting. The one in the fridge is for another week or 2 weeks, still good. Now, with the GANS technology, used the right way, we create the universal way of that fridge protecting. And this is what most of the farmers don't understand. This is why when we enter into the work with the farmers and we take up, we go all the way through to support. It's not just harvesting and that's it. What happened to the harvest? If you speak to Jim, who's done a study of this in Australia, he follows to see if the shop which buys his lettuces will get more sale from his than the others, and more people want the same thing, because even it touches the emotion, the pleasure of eating it. So we transfer the beauty of the knowledge from the seed to the human, to the emotion of the human inside. And this is why agriculture is like you in Kenya and people around the world have this problem. When you use the GANS, when you come to the harvest, I watered it. Before it leaves the gate of the farm, it has to go through the same process. We now put seed into the ground for wheat and corn in Europe. This week has already been done. We've done the same thing in Iran. We've done the same thing in Brazil. We've done the same thing in China. Knowledge seekers are growing the seeds using the GANS technology everywhere. Are you following the way, or you just push the GANS on the floor, or you put some seed on it? No, you have to follow the process, step by step, the correct way. And then you put the seed at the beginning into the GANS water. Does your GANS water carries amino acid of the GANSes you put? If not, you already failed, because you put the GANS, but you haven't made the connection. Yeah, as I said, you have 2 telephones, but you haven't connected them with the number. So I used the GANS water for my seeds, but it didn't. Did you use the amino acid? No. So now you know amino acid connects the energy of the GANS to the amino acid of the seed. So you start the right way. You water the seed when it grows on the farm, that you create an atmosphere which suits the plant across the farm. Now you have created a green dome. You have created what we call a atmospheric green dome, the way we saw in Caribbean, where the hurricane came. Now you come to the point that the fruit of the tree or the plant has appeared. That stage, the fruit needs huge energies, because now the child needs to be growing before birth. Do you water your fruits at that point, that it brings the absorption of the energies to it and it becomes solid? This is what we did in China. The Chinese trial, which is already published, the wheat were already grown for 100 days altogether. In the last part of the growth, we introduced the last 27 days, the GANS technology, we changed the atmosphere, and what happened? We reached double, triple harvest with 20 odd days, 30 days of watering. Because when in the life of the man, what do you do when you go to a doctor? He says you are pregnant. They give you omega-3, they give you folic acid to support the growth in the last stages. You bring the child up and you let it dry. So how do you expect to have a perfect child? Then, even in that stage, your gases have to carry balanced amino acid that it connects to the material. Even if you take some of the wheat which you collected or you seed it at the beginning with the ganses, you keep some of it and you put in your gans that by the time it's ready to fruit, when you spray it once, it already has a connection with its mother where it was created. So your fruit becomes perfect. When you take it out of the farm, you wash it with a gans in a way that you create that fridge condition to it. Now, the life of your product is not a week or 2 weeks. It's perfect from the beginning to the end. Then the farmer benefits by it. It's a culture of understanding and not doing something in the middle and see what happens at the end. This is what we're going to deliver in Liberia. This is what the Chinese government is going to do with the Keshe Foundation technology with the farming, where a farmer which produces 1 ton or 2 ton now produces 4 ton and 6 ton. The price is the same. Now the farmer has a freedom to live a good life. We affect him as well as much as we affect the guy who enjoyed to buy the lettuce when he ate it. This is what I said. You have to carry the beautiful soul with a farmer who plants it. He knows he's going to get more. He knows his child will have food. He knows he have a clothing on his back. I treat the knowledge seekers the same as I do with my family. I pay everything for them, that they have a free life. I pay the rent, I pay the electricity, I pay the bills, everything, and I show it to the government. You can lie, but the document shows. You can use the technology, but your document shows you have done it the correct way. Any mistake in the middle will show. Anybody can lie. I use the technology, but it didn't work. You didn't pay the rent, I'm on the street. It's a lie because you didn't tell the people that I didn't do anything else. I damaged myself by my own conduct. You have to understand, when you apply the Keshe Foundation technology, apply it correctly and in the right way, that nobody can put a finger in it. If your harvest 1 year doesn't complete in a part, see what mistakes you made in your harvesting, in your watering. Do you need to add additional next season to grow it? If you get the best product the way we done in China, then you look, I have to do this, what else I can do to develop more. When you feed the man which is hungry, when he's happy, when he's fed, is the same as the plant. When the plant carries 20% fully fed, complete seed, doesn't attract anything else. When you leave 7-8% empty sack, anything will go in the sack because it has to be filled up. You're opening yourself to a lot of harm and damages. It's the same, the structure of the farming. You have to get it right from the beginning. Keshe Foundation now has started a very controlled farming in Europe, where we are, from the outset, the ganses produced at the Keshe Foundation Center are used. The food, the plants will harvest in a few months' time, and then it'll be given to the animals to eat. And then we'll see the reaction of the animals by eating the new food. But at the same time, from now, we start treating the animals through the Keshe Foundation technology, that the animals are perfect as well, that when they receive the gans which is connected to their food, they will have everything. But there's a beauty with it. We have built a production center in the farm. So the farm, as it produces its ganses and is stored in the farm, the animals, because they've been washed and they've been fed with it, connect with it. They take energy directly from the tank reserves as we are producing ganses. What happens? The farmer needs less food to eat by the animals. It brings profitability in. At the same time, because the ganses produced are a combination of emotion, you find a calm animal, you find a beautiful condition for everything from the plant to the animal. And as man is a flesh and wheat consuming or whatever energy, you will change, you feel the taste, I want to buy this brand, where is it coming from? We have taken huge steps. The farming units of the Keshe Foundation, which you will see the videos of in the next few weeks, as it's gone through the process, the videos are already made, being in Iran, being in China, being in Europe. You will see we haven't gone in just to give the farmer something to do. We are controlling the whole process, and it's getting videoed. And then the harvest of the farmer becomes double. The animal grow in 120 days instead of 150 days. The animal structure is peaceful. The plant does not stink. The people, the workers are happy to work. We've seen in China. And then you bring a new culture of agriculture. Not just I put some gas on the plants and I grew ananas, but it didn't get to the farm. Excuse me, sir. Did you treat the soil with gas before you start? Did you say, thank you for the solar planet that it feeds my seed? You don't just go and spray seeds on the ground. You nourish it, you give energy to the land which gives it life. Not just where I want to take. The whole process has to be correct. And in the Keshe Foundation TV programs, we'll teach you step by step, and we'll show you the difference. Then your ananas will be ripe, the time is bought, and the man said, I want to eat you. I want to enjoy the pleasure of what energy you carry for me. Then there is no lie.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. I guess depending on locations, the problems are not the same. But I'll discuss this with you later.
No, Dr. Gatwa. If you do the process right, anywhere in the universe, the process will be right. You have to understand.
That I agree.
You have to understand how you use it. Is your land alkaline or is it your land salt? If it is alkaline with a salt, like in Mongolia, in Mongolia, we have alkaline salt ground, and 30-50 centimeters below is sweet water. But how do we change the alkaline? We don't change it. We develop a gas which uses the energy of alkaline. It uses the energy of the salt. Salt is an energy in a stronger. It's like a chemotherapy injection. You have to take it out, you have to mild it, and you have all the gases to do so. So, in a way, if you find the right combination of gases, you can cultivate the same thing anywhere on this planet. It's you who has to understand the need of the seed, and the need of the earth, and the need of the man who uses it, and develop a technology which is perfectly done. We sat with Banglin, with Chinese, with the shipping liners. Chinese own the biggest shipping liners in the world, but they have a problem. When they ship goods from South America to get to China, in the sea, it goes bad. They wanted the Keshe Foundation to find a solution for it through the new technology. You don't sort out the shipping. You go back to the farmer to start from the seed, that it can stay years on the board of the ship, not to rush as fast as you can, not to rot. You can't come in half. The Chinese have to teach the farmers in South America, we want you to use gases in this way. We are opening the Keshe Foundation in Mexico, is going through that way in the next couple of weeks. We'll show it to you how we use the Keshe Foundation Mexico as a center of excellence and research in setting gas technology, first of all, to clean the city from the energy packs, we call them, and then with it to go through to the others. Now, it's not just Iran which is supporting the Keshe Foundation. Mexican authorities are supporting the Keshe Foundation with the center we have to fastly develop these things in the coming weeks. And this is how it should be. You have to look at the full structure from the earth to the man who uses that energy of the earth. And there is no fault in the middle that it leaks or creates problem. And this is the biggest problem I see continuously, especially with the farmers. Oh, we put a GANS on it and the seed we got 20% or 50% extra. Did you please and thank the earth and you gave it the energy that it supports your seed? Did you support the seed? Did you look after your child in the nursery time and in the growth? Did you clothe it when it came out of the house that is not naked? Did you put ganses on your fruit when it leaves the gate farm and it comes to the world? And it costs only a few cents to do it. But it gives an income. It supports the farmer. And this is how the new Keshe Foundation television has to teach the farmers, that they all have plenty. My biggest problem, as I said to the Chinese ones, is that mankind will produce so much food that they'll be giving it freely to everyone, and the governments have to support farmers not to dump fruits on the streets. When, as I explained in one of the teachings very recently, when I traveled to Sicily few years ago, the trees were full of oranges. And I asked our people who took us there, knowledge seekers, why so much beautiful oranges? He said, we don't farm it because the labor cost is more than collecting it, so they're rotting on the tree. But do we even allow the oranges, support them, even we don't use them, that they feed the earth when they fall? Not only looking at the profit, because we have nothing else to do. The society of the future through Keshe Foundation technology in the space on earth will be having time. So much time that the man become peaceful. And what do we do with it? I get the energy. I'll go and take all the oranges out and thank them for the beauty. We have to understand the full culture of the Keshe Foundation from now on. Not just piecemeal, I did, and I hang some ganses in the farm, and I don't see, did you sort out the ground? Did you understand what the earth needs to support your product? Did you look after the child in the womb of the mother when it's growing? And did you clothe it when it came outside? I have a child naked on the street. Did you put it through the GAN system that it suits the fruit, that it can stay protected? And then you say, can you find a solution? Yes. I grow things. I stood in charge of the test trials in Inner Mongolia. I showed 3 times more harvest. I showed 2 times more harvest. I showed the because I control everything the way it's done. You can ask Wang Lin. We even ask, how do the farmers feel? They tell us none of them has been sick. Wang Lin, are you in the background? Could you come in?
Yes, Mr. Keshe.
Can you explain how we looked after the Inner Mongolia test by the Chinese authorities?
Yes, we asked them for the farmer who watering the wheat, and it's one lady and one man. And later on, they come back to us. They say the lady said she don't know why she's so happy every day. She just say like when she go there watering and very happy and go back home, looks everything is fine. And the gentleman said, I don't know. It's feels very good. The feeling is just like I drink a little bit of alcohol and feel so good every day. Just like
they
that.
didn't go sick compared to the other farmers during the process.
Yeah, they have a very good mood.
Yeah, and then we increased the harvest 2 times and 3 times. Why? Because when I get involved, thank you very much, Wang Lin. When I get involved, I look at everything, and this is the job of us now to teach in the television and show how it has to be done. It's the same when you have a cancer. You don't come into the machine and say, now sort out my cancer. I prepare you 2-3 weeks before in a way to put you in a condition of the emotional right condition, and I support you in the machine the same way. You come into the machine, the cancer is not there in a few hours or in a few days. It's not just you come in and go. Doesn't work that way. When you receive the cup of sugar, when you receive the cup of pressure, when you receive the cup of life, there is an instruction with the cup how to use it. It's not just stick it under the tap, fill it up with the water and drink it. I have given you the cup of sugar, but it comes with a small manual. Read the manual and you see how you change everything. Because when I do, when the Keshe Foundation does, we go for perfection the way it has to be. You make a Gans cup, whatever, and you say it doesn't work. Of course. You don't know what I mix in the clay when the pot is made, the cup is made. And you don't understand how to turn it and use it. I made a cup, it doesn't work. Oh, it did some. No, because when you drink from that cup, it has to touch your soul. It has to touch your physicality. Sugar, diabetic, pressure, high blood pressure. These are all psychosomatic. It's not the water. It's when you hold the cup.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. Maybe I should ask this question in a different way, because the problem is really not, in my case, is not the production part of it. It's after we have advised farmers how to treat their crops, how to use all those GANs and amino acids, and now they have a beautiful produce. The problem now comes in, how do we transport this to the market?
You didn't get the message, did you? Did you?
My question is about manufacturing.
There is not manufacturing. No, you're wrong. Sorry to say so, you're wrong. When you have 6 weeks life for a product and it takes you 2 days to take it with a car and 4 days with a donkey, doesn't matter how you do. You have enough time. What do you want to manufacture? Change a banana to no banana and it gets to the farm, it becomes a banana? Or
change the banana to banana juice, for example.
That's a process manufacturing. What do you want to do with this? You want us to make your GANS machine for the juice manufacturing? You still can do. If you change it to a juice and use the right combination of GANSes, your thing has a longer time to process without refrigeration. We have shown this before. In China, in Ceramic City, Wang Lin and I, we went to the Ceramic Research Center. I mixed the clay, I mixed the cups, I made the cups, and then we made the pots. And the pots were put 30, 40 meters apart in the research center. And we put the pieces of meat in it. We put the fruit on the plates on it. But the combination, we knew it was there. And we walked after a few weeks around the research center. We went again, we saw them. The meat, which was, and the material, which was with the GANS pottery, which we made, had a totally different. The normal one was already liquid water. Meat changed to water and broth. And you have to understand, even you process the goods, follow the same procedure. What do you need to add to it? In what condition you have? You don't need to add any preservatives into the product. If you know how to use the GANS water. If you're looking for a juice machine, Keshe Foundation hasn't got to that point. I tap with my soul to the fruit and take the beauty of its taste. If you know how. We did it, as I said, with Alex, with orange and water. We do it with the body of the man, which is another container of GANSes. Do we need to eat orange? We don't. Maybe in the future you develop a technology that you put the things in, you extract the juice, you add the GANSes into it. But if you're looking mechanical juicing, there's plenty in the market. You want to bottle it, sterilize it with the GANS water. we'll release these kind of technologies in the teaching and the way it works. I told you, from 2021, I stepped down in every day of running of the Keshe Foundation because we have competent people now running it. And it allows me now to teach, to show, to develop new space technologies, new farming methods, and you will see a lot of presentation in that way. I don't move away out of Keshe Foundation. I still sit right on the top as an advisor and still in charge of and take responsibility for everything. But now it's run by the other people. Now we have to teach more people. And knowledge seekers need a full knowledge, expertise, and we transfer this. The way I will teach nuclear physics of America and China, how the Iranian nuclear technology works, I will teach the farmers of the United States and China how to increase harvest, how to create a harvest that lasts longer, how to send the products into the market knowing what it is. One of the biggest problems in next 5 or 10 years using that GANS technology is the flood of food and the surplus food which will be available in the market. Is not anymore the shortage. Now it's with the clot of the materials, and the farmers and the governments have to come to an agreement in how to be done. China from 40% import grain will become 40-60% grain producer, export. What happens? China wants to sell the grains to Africa because for the farmers, and the African farmer uses the same technology, doesn't need it. You come, I match you, you have the farming to ship and everything else, I do it locally. What Americans did with the rice farmers in Sierra Leone and Africa and West Coast will not be repeated. Importing cheap grain. You go, you're using the same technologies I do, I produce in a better climate 3 times more than you do. You come and match. Mankind will find new solutions for life. And Keshe Foundation Television is what we've been waiting for a long time. And you will see how we bring the change in.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. Now, this brings me to the last question. When you finally step down on the 21st of March and move to Iran to teach the world, will you continue with the Knowledge Seekers workshops on those days?
Of course. It's just administrative move that the daily affairs of the Keshe Foundation is done already. If you know how the Keshe Foundation is run, I'm in the background. Everyday affairs of the Keshe Foundation for past year or 2 has been run by the 2 ladies in the front and the rest of the Keshe Foundation team which support them. I already stepped down a long time ago. And you see me as a front. It's the same way as I did with the handing over of the Keshe Foundation to the lady when we were in Ghana. I said to her, for months I sit in the back, let it my name, but you run. Now it's the same process. You will see new products, you see new packaging, you see new delivery speed and everything else with these 2 ladies and the team behind them. I already have a step down. I'm just there as a figurehead, and it gives me a chance. I told you I found peace in my life after years of trouble and turmoil because of never allowing peace in my life. Now I have found peace, and I convey that peace to all of you. You've seen what's happened on the internet. Barrage of always disturbing. This is the life I live, disturbed every day, day and night. How could you have peace? And you see it in the teaching. Now I have peace. I have nobody to disturb me. And I carry that love and the peace to the rest of you. Peace talk with Iran. Peace talk with the world of the nations. We couldn't have. When you have a disturbing element, like a worm in your life, how do you expect to be peaceful? Now everything is peaceful. I have already stepped down from Keshe Foundation. Officially, I'm here. Have I stopped teaching? I teach more in depth. We managed to get a lot of things moving on. And then it'll be the same. I step down on the running affairs day to day. The television channel is the same. If you were in my place, you had a television channel, you managed to get it, you want to be there. Richard Branson, I'm in front of everything. Other people, no. I brought the Keshe Foundation Knowledge Seekers to run it. It's them who's doing it, not me. Television is a very powerful thing, but I stay in the background, I do the teaching, they run. This is the way Keshe Foundation is run and is managed. You don't need me to be there, to be yes everything. I'm very open, and through my skill in management internationally for 40 years, I learned one thing. You bring capable people in the position and you let them to show their beauty. If you were in the meeting of the Keshe Foundation TV group in the past 3-4 days, you've seen it. I started it. Now they're talking to each other. They set up their own groups. I'm there if I need advice or if I see something wrong. But in a way, you are running everything. I have stepped down from be me and the things to go way I want to you and knowledge seekers to do it. You're in the board of the television for Kenya. You've seen the same. You saw how it's been run past 3 days.
Yes, I did. And thank you very much, Mr. Keshe, for being there for not only us knowledge seekers, but for everyone on earth. And I cannot thank you enough for bringing peace to the world. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome. I have been brought up with a hands-free management style of thinking. And this has been the success for my business life.
Finally, I'm very happy that you found your peace. Thank you very much.
I found my peace, and I found the most beautiful thing in my life I've been waiting for, as many of you know. Last Sunday during the American teaching, I became a grandfather of a most gorgeous girl, and my life is complete. I was always missing a girl in my life, and now I found more peace. It's the pleasure to be alive. It's a pleasure to share the beauty of life with a new life, which I know her life will be very different than my life and my son's life. She will live in the world that word doesn't exist. She'll live in the world that there is no pharmaceutical to damage her. She will live in a world where the agriculture is without poison. And it's the effort of all of us to get to that point. I look after my granddaughter the same as I do with my son, and the same as I do with those who are close to me, the same as the knowledge seekers. You have to understand one thing. Don't get fooled by those who try to play with emotion. Look at the facts behind, and then you find out how you've been abused emotionally by those who abused my life for years the same way. Now I found peace. Peace Dividend is the television station. Peace Dividend is the peace announcement by Iran from today. Peace Dividend has come because being at peace, we find solutions for peace.
Thank you very much.
This is the beauty of it. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good time in putting your input into Keshe TV in every aspect that we see a beautiful structure run by all of you as a Keshe Foundation team.
We are here to serve and we'll do our best. Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much, Dr. Katwa. Some of you have to understand, a lot of us make a lot of sacrifices to be there. Dr. Katwa, a professor at Yale University in the United States, at my request, moved to Kenya from the life of luxury in the state to serve his nation and bring it up. And now in Kenya, he's devoted his life to teaching. A professor from the most advanced nation to a nation in Africa to become advanced for its totality. I respect you and thank you, Dr. Katwa.
You are most welcome, Mr. Keshe, and I'm here to serve.
Thank you very much. Any other question? Would you like to go through a commercial break and then come back?
Sure, that's probably a good idea. We have several hands up, and if people
will answer the question. You see, today's teaching, I teach a lot as we get questions. It's not all news. How I taught you to look after the plants, how everything else is. Now, the knowledge, it gets more in depth, that it becomes successful for your application, that you can show it on the programs which is coming up. It's a combination of everything from now on together into what achieve the next step. Go ahead, please.
Okay, do you want to go for a break now, or?
Yes, please. And then we answer the questions.
Very good. Okay, thank you, Mr. Kesh. So we'll take a few minutes break here and be back shortly. And this is the 370th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, March 4th. All right, take it away, Stanley.